Okay, lads, when I say stop, you stop boxing. When I say break, take a step back. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times. Good luck to you both. Good luck. Can I just tell you, this is a good shot. This is a good shot, okay? Good luck.
Terrific atmosphere here, and the second of these crackling battles of the cruisers, matchrooms. British boss Cheavon Clarke with Eddie Hearn in the corner, really tackling boxers, enticing hope. Viddal Riley just caught Ben Shalom's eye, and he cannot wait for this. It's a really good-looking fight, and another example of how Turki Al-Sheikh, the ring, and Eddie and Ben can combine to give the fans what they really want. 50-50 fights, Darren, at high level.
Yeah, really good fight this for the British Cruiserweight title. What a venue to house this fight. Fantastic. The fan zone was interesting in the ring walk there. 71% favouring Viddal Riley.
You get the challenger tonight, Viddal, in the Spurs colours, that all red, and Barry Virgil Hunter in the corner for Cheavon Clarke. That's well, he's a very established trainer.
Yeah, and he's a very thoughtful trainer, and whether that's the right fit here for Cheavon Clarke, we're going to find out tonight. But I like the way Riley started out there. Just you see him just leaning over to his right ever so slightly, so he can get that jab into play and avoid that right hand there of Clarke, but also taking a little step back with the back foot to make Clarke fall a little bit short with his attacks.
He's really talented, Riley. He's good on his feet. He's got a lovely rhythm to his work. I remember him when he was in Floyd Mayweather's gym many years ago. A really good young amateur as a schoolboy. Just wasn't sure whether he wanted to be a coach, a star on the social media circuit. He's got a huge following, but he's knuckled down, and under his dad has decided it's boxing for him, and this is the time, he believes. Talking about waves, wasn't he, in the press conference, and he's riding the one now.
Yeah, and the footwork that you pointed out there is what's impressed me, I think, most with Viddal Riley. Moves with a nice rhythm, sharp on the feet. As you see there, to step out of range, avoiding the shots coming his way. So it's so important for Chev, who I'm a fan of. I just love it when he goes through his gears, shows me a bit more urgency, and that's exactly what he's going to need tonight. Certainly with the feet, sharpness of hands to get close.
Nice 1-2 there from Riley. Real sharp counters, and Clarke's just got to remember when he gets that over that front foot, just to roll that body. I think it's important that he tries to walk Riley down. He knows he's going to knock him in the sharpest of the two early on. If he just makes Riley work hard, that'll just pay dividends as the fight goes on.
I was thinking exactly that, Barry, that Cheavon Clarke's shoulder's just a bit stiff, and Riley already getting into the groove in the first round. He seems to be boxing at his pace, enjoying himself already, and as a step into the big league, this is an impressive beginning for the man from Tottenham.
Yeah, just looking at Riley's movement, albeit very good, when he does throw the jab, he decided to go to the right there, but he has been gliding ever so slightly to his left. Just seeing it there, that's an opportunity for Chev to throw the right hand.
Now just out of range though, Clarke, and pickpocketed by Viddal Riley. What a beautiful setting, and a lovely night as well. The weather's been kind to us here at Tottenham Hotspur, which is beginning to fill up. So much ahead, and of course the big one later on. It is Eubank Jr. Ben. Finally they meet in this 18-foot tiny ring. I cannot wait, Darren and Barry.
It's going to be fireworks.
And these giant stadiums are weird because they're so big, but yet you look down and you look back up again in a couple of seconds and it's full. I don't know how it happens.
And every seat is great in this place. It's a brilliantly designed stadium, and it's the home for Viddal Riley, the Spurs fan, the 27-year-old in his biggest fight number 13. It was Cheavon Clarke, the British champion, who lost a European title tilt out in Monaco. So he's had to rebuild, and he's got to get to grips with Riley quickly now.
This is nice from Riley, really good. He's in the centre of the ring, he's taking that little step out of range. I like the feints as well. There's little jerky movements with the hands, with the feet, just sort of trying to draw out the lead from Chev. Lovely sharp jab again, and you mentioned the story there. It's incredible. Viddal Riley literally grew up a stone's throw away from him. can see the old stadium when the school just round the corner. Now he's fighting for the British title.
This is good here from Riley because he's not getting too greedy with his success. He's landing with a jab, the odd 1-2. He could do more work, but that allows Clarke back into the fight. And for Clarke, he's trying to get on his toes to get some rhythm, but he has to commit. He's a big, strong guy. He's physically strong. He has a heavy hand. He's got to get that chest over the front knee and try and push Riley back.
Yeah, he needs to get that jab going, Cheavon Clarke. Jab beats speed, Vernon Forrest always used to tell me, but the speed and the guile is with Viddal Riley here, who's got into a nice flow right at the beginning of this British title challenge. He's a joy to watch at times, Riley. He's a cool guy outside of the ring, and he just sort of transports that inside.
See, look, he didn't have to pay for that there, Clarke. Clarke's just got to hit him anywhere. He's trying to look for that perfect shot. Hit him on the arm, hit him anywhere, just make him feel a little bit uncomfortable. But at the minute, Riley is flowing. Yeah,
100%. We've already seen him throw a couple of straight shots to the body, the jab and the right hand. He's having success down there, Cheavon Clarke. That's what he's got to target, that area. Then he can work back upstairs. Nice groove, nice rhythm to the work of Riley so far.
I love his feet, Viddal Riley. And he's amassed this perfect record in a way that an old-fashioned fighter should. English champion and now a British title tilt at the age of 27. Right hand partially blocked by Clarke, but he's made a very good start here, Viddal Riley. Kick catch in Wood. What are we going to get here? Cheavon Clarke. It's time really to knuckle down here in your red trunks. The 34-year-old C4, brilliant character on the circuit. He's worked the media, and he's worked hard for the comeback here after the European title loss. But he's got plenty to think about here. He's out of range with his jab. Riley beating him to the punch. And he's in need of some success. Maybe to the body here, Darren.
Well, exactly what I see. He took a nice step, then he threw a 1-2 to the body.
He had a little bit of success in that last round. Not long enough to win the round, maybe, but to build off. And I think that's important. Now you've got to take the positives, even when you are behind, and being the pressure fighter, which he hasn't been yet, but he should be. And physically, the stronger you would feel, that he just, you've got to work your way into the fight. But I just think there needs to be a more urgency when he does decide to attack. You've got to believe in yourself.
Do you think some of that belief went, Darren, a little bit out in Monaco, because everybody seemed to fancy Clarke would get the job done? He was down early and then outpointed.
Yes, look, he was dropped in the opening round, and you've got to give him a lot of credit, but Mosquea, he boxed to a very good game plan. Heavy-handed he was. Really landed some big shots. So this man, he did tick boxes, but I just felt there was always more. Look, he's a very laid-back person, and sometimes those laid-back individuals, they translate that into the ring, and you just want to see him get going, get busy.
Body shot from Riley, but this might be when Clarke wants him.
Yeah, it's just
nice and close.
Yeah, sorry, Adam, I was just thinking that myself. I was quite happy with Viddal trying to take the centre of the ring and maybe trying to push Riley back, but you've got to be careful when you try and push someone back. You forget about the straight shots, and you end up getting too close to the work inside, and that brings your opponent into the game. So you've got to punch long and move your feet after you throw the shots. But taking the centre ring for Riley is not a bad thing. That shows a bit of strength, and also we just put Clarke under pressure a little bit more and make him start to think and panic a little bit.
It just allows that space behind. We've seen already how quick the feet are of Riley. When you've got space behind you, you can just, at your own pace, move back, walk your opponent onto shots. There's a nice right hook there from Riley as well. But in a real rhythm.
Just a frustrated look on the face of Cheavon Clarke. How to pin Riley down, and
he needs to throw the right hand, Clarke, when he glides to his left there, Riley.
But again, he threw the right hand like you asked for, but where his feet are, when he's not getting close enough, he's too far out, and that's going to lose his confidence because he's missing and getting caught.
Yeah, he needs to take that right step across when he throws the right.
And stage and screen, everybody's here tonight. It's going to be rocking in here in a couple of hours' time. But we've got a lot of good fights first. We've seen a really terrific cruiserweight matchup with Chris Smith and Brandon Clanton. CBS getting the decision. We're still in the 14-stone-4 world, and it's at domestic level. Good British fight here. Viddal Riley having an excellent start against Cheavon Clarke, but Clarke's got power and he's got a stubborn will and a determination, and he'll keep chugging away. But it's Riley, all Riley at the moment.
It's feet. The feet win you fights, Cheavon. Whether you come forward or you're a dancer, feet win you the fight for balance. And the balance of Riley here is fantastic. He's feinting, starting to feint his way in now as well. Moving to the skipping to the side without the punch on the fly while he's moving. Boxing really well here.
Yeah, that step to the right-hand side, then throwing the right hand over the jab of Clarke. Really, really impressive.
When he turned pro abroad, Viddal Riley, it was all a little bit obscure. He trained KSI, of course, when KSI fought Logan Paul, and we got to know him a great deal, but the love of boxing really is in the core. He built that Instagram following, but I had a long podcast with him about 4 months ago, and he said, Adam, I'm telling you, boxing is my life. I want to be a world champion. I don't care about the fame and the fans are there, of course, but it's what he does in the ring, and I think he's got the right attitude now, and he's got the talent.
And this was, make no bones about it, this is a big step up for Riley. You know, Clarke is boxing at a really good level. Again, people sipping on that signage there on the ring. That's going to be an issue as the night goes on. That might possibly get worse as well.
Yeah, what can be done about that? The fatal fury, key City of Wolves to the whole event, but the fight is just slipping on that. Body shot from Clarke was good, another one. And this is what he's got to do to try and slow down the pattern. Excellent from Cheavon Clarke in this 5th round.
Yeah, there did seem to be a reaction there from Riley, but that left to the body landed.
Sort of doubled over, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
A little bit of lack of experience there from Riley. But Clarke, again, not using the feet quick enough to jump on him. You've got to stop looking for the perfect shots here, Clarke, and just let your hands go.
Heavy-handed, though, Cheavon Clarke, if he could land a couple more just to stop Riley in his tracks. He comes back with a body shot. He's got 7 knockouts on the slate, Riley. But Clarke probably the biggest single puncher. Can he find that body again of Riley?
The score so far, I gave Viddal Riley the first 4 rounds using that superior footwork, and Cheavon Clarke the last round, so 4-1 Riley. I thought Cheavon Clarke did a great job in that last round, Adam. He went to the right hand to the body and then followed up, and he's going to have to do more of that to slow him down.
What would Virgil Hunter have said to him in the corner? We didn't hear that.
I think Virgil Hunter would be telling him to counter more and jab with him. I think when we've seen Cheavon Clarke jab with Viddal Riley, he's had a lot of success. You see him doing it now, and of course Virgil Hunter known for counter punches.
Absolutely. Brilliant defensive coach, isn't he? But Cheavon Clarke needs rounds.
Yeah, and I was about to say off the back of that, a bit more urgency, a bit more snap, a bit more variety in the work, with a bit more meaning. Yeah, it's so important for Riley to remain disciplined with the footwork. This is where he wants to be. Doesn't want to get backed up too far. Allow space behind you, as I've already mentioned. Try and walk Clarke onto the shots. Start to see him get the left hook into play as well. Check, counter hook.
Double jab here for Clarke. No, up and down with it.
No.
Head, body, right hand over the top. Nice smooth rhythm, no load up on your shots. While Riley's taking the rest, that's your opportunity to work.
Slipped again there, Cheavon Clarke, and again, and they're not happy with this. What can be done? Is the canvas got to be replaced, Barry, here?
If there is one here, I don't know.
Right, step back.
They might get all the magicians around.
People pay a fortune for these advertising, by the way. You know, it's all, well, I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's like turning your jumper inside out.
I don't know, the boots as well. Certainly Brandon Clanton had trouble with it. They've got to get on with it. Into the 6th round here, and Chev Clarke getting closer.
But he nearly walked onto a big overhand right there from Riley.
To be fair, it bounced off Clarke, man, didn't it? Didn't care. Takes a good shot.
No. Yeah, we don't hit him back. I will deal with it, yeah? No more.
The Every just having a small word with Chev Clarke. And Viddal Riley just trying to tidy things up.
Yeah.
No malice at all, anything that's really displaced. He's only been a pro 3 years, Chev Clarke. He's had to pack it in. He's 34 now.
Showing some experience there in the corner as well as the referee went over to Chev Clarke. Riley just looking at his coaches, looking to gain more information and advice.
Keep working then. Stop boxing! Stop boxing, both of you. Box up. Stop.
It's a little bit scrappy here, isn't it, in this round?
Yep, normally great punches landed, a lot missing. And they're having trouble with the canvas. Slipping and sliding. See that again, it's getting worse.
Stop boxing!
He's ahead on the card, surely, at the halfway mark. He's boxed really well at times, but he's got to do it through the championship rounds as well. 7 years younger, 13th fight for Viddal Riley. Chev C4 Clarke in fight number 12, only that one defeat to Mosquera. So pretty much a battle of the unbeatens, and the two of them trying to grip this canvas, and it's been hard.
Interesting as well, I noticed that Chev Clarke throughout the fight, he stood in the corner in between rounds, and I don't know about you, Darren, I'm never really a fan of that.
I think, you know, the top amateurs, you used to see him always standing in between corners. I'm sure he's just adopted that from the amateurs, you know, a glittering career, as we pointed out. But yeah, I'm not a fan. When you've got the opportunity to sit down within that minute, do so.
Mike, you mentioned it earlier, you spotted that. Are you in favour of it or not?
I mean, I'm not a fighter, so I can't say how effective it is, but I haven't really seen many fighters use it over the years. It's pretty unorthodox, and Chev Clarke so far has been a step slow. So,
well, having said that as well, look, when you spar all the rounds in the gym, you never sit down. When you're sparring, you're doing, you know, hundreds of rounds of sparring. So that's probably, you know, how he feels comfortable, obviously.
But the intensity is not the same, is it? Especially when you go down the stretch, when you really are pushing for pace and you are tired, that rest is quite important here.
You see the punches thrown, huge amounts by Riley, just 4 more on the stats landed, but the feel of the fight, the rhythm, as much, well, certainly the first 4 rounds, much more in Riley's favour. Clarke has closed the distance, he is trying to get to the body, it's become scrappy and messy, but I suppose he needs to do that, the champion.
Yeah, you've got to try and take away that jab and the range of Riley, and he's sort of been able to do that in the last few rounds here, Clarke. I still think he needs to be a little bit more assertive, a little more energy in his work, though. Just a little acceleration of pace in some of those combinations that Clarke is throwing.
Yeah, double jab to the body, step in, then let the right hand over the top go. And I think for Riley, just keep it simple. Jab, 1-2, take the step, walk Clarke onto the shots, get back into that groove, that rhythm. But it does get hard here, the nervous energy at them.
Talking about Clarke, I've just spotted Fraser Clarke with a nice hat on opposite at ringside. They're coming in thick and fast as the atmosphere builds. 7:05, less than 3 hours away from a fight we have been waiting so long for. Eubank Jr. and Benn. And you ask all the fighters in Fight Week, they've got different predictions. They're not quite sure, 1 or 2 sitting on the fence. It's great.
Really
right hand. Got a good right hander from Riley, and again, lovely shot.
Yeah, full rotation in that right hand as he was backed onto the ropes, Riley.
Yeah, lovely work. Boxing well. Nigel and Conor, famous father and son, a little bit later for you. Nigel, of course, living and breathing every moment of this build-up, and Derek does too with Viddal. They're super close. And you heard in the other corner there, Darren, Chev Clarke, they want him to use the jab. They feel that Riley's draining but is it working?
Yeah, I would like to see a bit more urgency. You know, I think that's what's required from Cheavon Clarke. So I'd like to see him just step in everything a bit quicker, more intent, close that gap. Again, we're seeing them slip in the centre of the ring. Just more of it, more shots to the body, more pressure on that front foot. If Riley is fading, then make it even worse for the local man.
Well, he's slowed down, Riley. I don't like so. In that, like we always say, if he slows down, you go harder. That's the opportunity to make the difference up.
And it's the experience that comes in of being a British champion, fighting for a European title as well. Just a level above where Riley's been, but he's stepped up really nicely tonight, Riley. He said this was the right time, that you need to be a British champion round about 27, 28, not 34. He feels Clarke's reached his ceiling.
But the thing is, Adam, once Clarke lands with a big shot, you watch how he works off that. How quick he quickens up everything with his arsenal and everything. He'll really let his hands go. So we know he can do it. But he's at the point in the fight now where I think, you know, he's having more success in the last few rounds, but he needs to start doing it now.
Well, we saw him stop David Jamieson. Tommy McCarthy was a good win in 4. Ellis Sorrow in 8. He can really punch at any stage of the fight. But maybe it is urgency and being busy and just committing to each round and giving the judges a reason to pick him.
Yeah, look, as Barry said, it's there. It's not like we're asking him to do something he hasn't got. That fight against Zorro, I was frustrated because the ending, when it did come, was very, very impressive. But there was rounds where you thought Zorro was boxing really well. So there's times you're just willing Clarke on, let your hands go. Come on, show us a little bit more. And if they're right, if Virgil Hunter is right and Riley's starting to build the pace, then make it even worse for him.
Well, a good little short right hand there from Riley, but a good one back there from Clarke.
Yeah, Clarke got a right hand back, but he just slipped there. And Riley senses an opportunity.
That could be catastrophic, by the way.
Yeah, Lee Every not really knowing what to do, the referee. It's a difficult one. Riley on his feet, back to the jab. Both finding it really difficult to get a grip. Let's bring Mike from the ring back in, our expert at ringside. What do you think here, scoring-wise?
Yeah, Adam, I've only given Cheavon Clarke 1 round, so I have it 8-1. Sorry, 7-1 for Viddal Riley. And like Darren has said as well, I think Cheavon Clarke needs to amp the pace up right now and kind of make Viddal Riley feel his physicality in there, and he's just not doing it. And of course, they're having issues with footing in there as well, so that could be affecting his power.
It's hard to argue, really, that Riley has won nearly all the rounds, and Clarke's he's got to throw caution to the wind, hasn't he, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely, because he's in danger of losing his 2nd consecutive fight. He's coming off of that split decision against Leonardo Mascara, so and that's what I like about this Ring Magazine card. The first 3 fights feature boxers coming off losses in tough fights.
Yeah, well matched all night. 5 fabulous fights. Look at that. Viddal Riley slipping again, and now the referee's he's asking what to do.
What does he do? I don't know. What can you do? I mean, it's not. I think they get the towel to white, but I don't think it's that. I think it's the print.
Well, this is a real problem. Ben Shalom on his feet. Eddie and Barry Hearn looking over. Rick Reno from the ring as well. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
I have to say, that's not unique for this. We've seen this many times before. And I would say in the last sort of 10 years, it's been more so than ever.
What is very important now, not just in this fight, but in the future fights on this event, it's so important for the fighters when they're looking to throw their rear hand, they take a front step, a big step that gives you a bit more stability. So you are fighting on a wet surface, so important that you bring that front foot in.
Right hand from Riley. We've seen it often with boots that haven't been scorched properly as they get inside the centre ring, and here comes Cheavon Clarke. And can Riley fight with him. This will be interesting to see whether he elects to stand and trade Riley after boxing so well.
Yeah, a nice uppercut there, Clarke. I think their feet were tangled a little bit, but it was a good shot, and Riley certainly felt it for sure.
That was good, though, from Riley, just stopping Clarke, moving forward. It was a nice feint, another good right hand on the top of the head, though. He took it well, Riley.
Much better from Cheavon Clarke. Here he comes in the 9th round. He's looked a bit sleepy in between rounds in the corner, and he's woken up. And I wonder if Eddie Hearn, watching on, will be shouting out some encouragement in these last few minutes, because a body shot from Clarke, it's better, he's landing punches, but he's got a lot more to do to hold on to this title.
He has, he's got to build on this, he's got to work, get busy.
It was good from Riley those seconds though, because he tied Clarke up, he pushed him back.
That was intelligent work from Viddal, Riley, really showing what he's got. He's putting it together on the biggest night of his life. Just around the corner from where he grew up. Tottenham through and through, Viddal Riley.
Just took his foot off the gas here, Clarke.
When he needed to go again.
Yeah, he did load Riley back into the round.
Well, he did better there, Cheavon Clarke. The weight title probably needs a knockout, Cheavon Clarke. And he's got to find it in these last 3 rounds.
Adam Viddal is a brilliant trainer. He's a brilliant teacher. He's a really good coach. But I think in that sort of scenario, you need something, you need a slap across the face, an old-fashioned slap across the face and go, get out there, do what you can do.
Ronnie Davis at that stage to Chris Eubank when he fought Steve Collins.
Listen, if you got a boxer like me in the corner, it's a waste of time saying that, but he's got Clarke, who's got physical strength, and he can't do it. So you've got to tell him, you go and do what you do well.
Don't keep putting yourself down for a world champion.
I'm saying you've got to know you're fighting in that predicament. Don't ask him to do things they can't do and then get hurt. He can do this stuff, but he needs an injection of pace.
I love listening to you, Barry Jones. Right, into the last couple of minutes of the 10th. And Viddal Riley, can he just polish the performance and glide his way home? Or will he have to battle it out? Cheavon Clarke just can't get into any sort of rhythm.
No, and he's slipping so nicely inside that lead orthodox jab of Cheavon Clarke's, and he's landing the left to the body, the left uppercut, boxing smart. He's showing discipline as Barry asked for. He's staying switched on, not taking any silly chances. And again, that's a beautiful lead. Right uppercut, overhand right, boxing lovely in this 10th round.
Fantastic right hand from Viddal Riley. It's been smooth, it's been professional, and he's learning as he's going along as well.
Yeah, he's managed to fight really, really well. He's controlled the pace for most of the fight. And Clarke has made him work a little bit, but not enough. And Clarke's playing his part in the wrong way. Ooh. That could be an issue, that could be a problem there. Yeah, he might have just caught him with the elbow there on the way down. And luckily, Clarke's built like a tank, so I don't think it'll have much effect.
Strong and physical Cheavon Clarke when he was dancing his way into the ring and singing, but he doesn't have that confident look about him as well. I'm sure he'll say afterwards he just couldn't get into his rhythm tonight. A left hand from Viddal Riley. The feet are moving well again. I mean, this is brilliant tonight.
I'll tell you what as well, Adam, there's never a great time to lose, but when you're coming off a defeat, the last thing you want is back-to-back defeats. That's even more of a reason for Clarke. Let's go, let's get busy.
And also, it's how other people look at you. Promoters, other fighters. It's the perception of you changing dramatically from being a good fighter or a prospect to a guy who's easy picking and becomes the victim.
He just doesn't look quite right in there, Cheavon Clarke. Wonder if he's overtrained, maybe. He's not been himself anyway, but you just can't help but applaud what Viddal Riley has done. This was a 50-50. A lot of people were going for Clarke to win this. Eddie and Barry Hearn looking disappointed over there at the other side of the ring, and he's running out of time here, Chev. And high emotion is Conor Benn, almost the exact opposite of what Viddal Riley has done in this British cruiserweight title fight. He has taken his time, he's boxed to a plan, lovely rhythm, and he's 6 minutes away from becoming a champion here at British level. Chev Clarke has got it all to do. Mike Coppinger on your card, I'm sure it's very, very one-sided. And Clarke has just got to go for throat here.
Yeah, absolutely. Clarke needs to show some urgency now. I've only given him 1 round, and Viddal Riley just boxing beautifully, and Clarke's really not making Riley do anything special in there. He's able to just do the same thing round after round, keep him at the end of his jab, and Clarke's just simply sleepwalking.
Yeah, do you know what? I agree 100% with Mike there. It's not been rocket science here. He's just stuck to a disciplined game plan. It's not been, you know, jumping out of your seat, exciting kind of fighting, but he's been so effective with the simple stuff. The feet, as we touched on, even as far back as the ring walk, how classy is it with that movement, left, right, back, and then just fires back with the straight, simple, clean shots.
And also, like you said, Darren, he's been disciplined. He hasn't got greedy with his success. He hasn't gone for that extra shot that gave him the trouble. So he's not a KO artist, Riley. He has to hit you clean and often, I feel. And he must know that. He has nothing, everything he's done, nothing's really hurt Clarke. So he's kept discipline with it, and I think that approach has been fantastic.
Yep, he's very intelligent. Viddal Riley knows what he possesses, and the way that he has gone about this, and he's toughed it out at times too. The rhythm has been sweet. I think he's judged the distance so well tonight, Gary.
That's exactly right. You know, he's always remained in a good position to be able to take that step back. Just trading right hands with Chev Clarke. Doesn't need to be doing that. That's exactly the opportunity that Chev wants, to be able to use your momentum onto one of his shots.
But the use of a good jab that Riley has shown here, it scores for you, gives you all the trouble, but more importantly, it makes the other fighter reset. It stops his offense automatically. If there's enough weight behind that shot and it's fast enough, it just stops him dead in his tracks. And you learn the fundamentals for a reason.
Sweet uppercut from Riley. Clarke tries to get one back. It's brave for the man from Gravesend in Cape, Chev Clarke. He's trying, but it's just not flowed for him tonight, and he's way out with that uppercut. And this is an exhibition from Viddal Riley. He's been absolutely superb through 11 rounds. 1 to go, and his dream of becoming a lobster, but and he's hurt him at the end of the 11th as well. Wow, how about that?
Look at me and tell me what you know. I'm okay.
Well, this is everything, it really is. He can ill afford 2 defeats in a row. The European title didn't go according to plan. He's about to lose his British Championship. There's no question about it. Viddal Riley has boxed absolutely sweetly from the opening bell. And Chev Clarke has 240 to find a knockout from somewhere. And he was the one in a bit of trouble at the end of the 11th.
Yeah, it did feel like if anyone was going to get it in that last round, but going into this 12th round, again, the legs look unsteady, and that wasn't the print on the middle of the ring there.
Barry, watch Riley's feet. I tell you what, looking back at this and watching it again, the feet have been super.
You can't box like if you don't train like it, and that's a guarantee. So to be on the balls of your feet is very difficult to do. It takes a lot of energy, but he's been on the balls of his feet, but never rants. He's always going to be able to get purchase on his punches. Not being able to hurt Clarke, but not to stop him from walking through him. But speed is what causes trouble. And that last shot in the last round, that was speed, where Clarke walked onto it.
Mike, in this first ring of 50-50 fights all the way through, Viddal Riley has made a sort of mockery of that, how well he's boxed.
Yeah, and Adam, what's really impressed me is how relaxed Viddal Riley is in there. Very disciplined effort, and now we see him stepping it up over these last 2 rounds. He's uncorking some big shots in there, and he clearly wants to make a statement. And really, for Chev Clarke, this is the kind of loss that damages you when you're trying to secure future fights. I think Brandon Glanton raised his stock in defeat, and I think Chev Clarke's doing the opposite right now.
Well, we could play matchmaker here. How about Riley versus Glanton?
I'd love that. Let's do it. Mike, make it happen. Viddal Riley has got just over a minute here to make that dream come true. He won the English title in a good performance against Mikel Lawal, and he told us all week how this was the right time to ride the wave.
We've criticised Clarke, even when he's boxed well, about not going through the gears quick enough. But I've got to be honest, Riley's beat a good kid tonight. We have to say that. Riley's movement have shut down a lot of Clarke's offense. It really had. The jab and the movement of the feet have won him the fight.
Cheavon Clarke, British champion, won 10 of 11, Olympian as well. He's a good fighter. And Viddal Riley, oh, big shot there.
Took him out though, Riley.
20 seconds to get through.
Maybe not. Little bit steady on the legs there.
Can Clarke find something? 10 seconds left. He's got to find a knockdown, and he can't. He's running out of time. The seconds tick away. It's Viddal Riley's night. He will be crowned the British Cruiserweight champion. Cheavon Clarke is defeated. He knows it. That was brilliant from Viddal Riley.